it's Lisa, and welcome to my very first vlog of the year, the very first vlog of 2023. It's still like, that just doesn't seem like a real year saying 2023. It just sounds fake, but it's 2023. It's a new year. It's actually January 2nd right now. We are a couple days into the new year, and I love documenting the first reads of the year. I've done a vlog the first week of the year the past couple of years. How many times am I going to say year? But I believe I did vlogs the first week of 2021 and 2022, so I wanted to do it again this year. I love documenting the first few reads of the year, and I definitely have some cleaning and some reorganizing and some resetting and preparing for the new year to do this week. So it's just a very fun vlog, I guess, for me to kind of do and document. It's just nice to document the fresh start to the new year. So yeah, I'm going to be hopefully reading a couple of books this week. I feel like now that the holidays have kind of gone by, I'm going to have a little bit more time to read. Also, a new year makes me so excited to start on new books and get reading and reaching those goals and everything. So definitely going to be doing a lot more reading this week than I have been the past few weeks with, Christmas and New Year's and all of that taking up so much time. And also, I was saying, it's a good time to reset and recharge. And I definitely have some things that I need to kind of wrap up from last year and also prepare for this year, such as well, first of all, cleaning. My room is a disaster. I still have, as you can probably see on shelves behind me, Christmas decorations up. I definitely need to start working on taking those down. Sadly, I still have my Christmas tree up, and I never want to take the Christmas decorations down because it's not nearly as fun, and it also just makes me sad. So I like to put it off as long as possible, but probably sometime this week I will do that. I also have all of my Christmas presents that I got just in a pile over here, and I need to put them away and organize them and everything. So hopefully I can do that this week. I also have some journaling that I want to do at some point this week. I have some things in my bullet journal and reading journal from 2022 that I need to kind of wrap up and finish up. I also have to prepare my reading journal and my bullet journal for this year. I don't actually have my journal for this year yet. It's been ordered. It's on the way to me, but I don't have it yet. So I'm going to, I think, try and prepare as much as I possibly can for my bullet journal for next year before it gets here, so that when it arrives I can get to setting it up and filming that and sharing that with you all as soon as possible. But I do have my journal for my reading journal. I got a couple of journals from I'm saying journal so many times, but I got a couple of bullet journals from Michael's in 2020 for my birthday from my aunt, I believe, and I used one of them for my reading journal last year, and I'm going to use the other one for my reading journal this year. So I at least have that and can start planning that out and maybe start filming it this week. Honestly, I have so many videos that I want to put up in January, so many beginning of the year videos that I want to film, so I feel like I'm just going to be constantly filming and uploading things, hopefully in January. That's the goal. I would love to upload a lot this month. But yeah, definitely will be filming the setup of both of those journals. I also am going to film a flip through of my reading journal from last year once that is completely finished. So yeah, lots of things from 2022 that I'm just trying to wrap up the loose ends of, and also preparing myself for 2023. And that probably will be happening in this first week of the month. And also, like I said, I'm going to be reading my first few reads of the year, at least one. I have started my first read of 2023. And it's a book that I picked out because I'm pretty confident that I'm going to at least enjoy it. I don't see this book being less than 4 stars. I contemplated starting my year off with my final book on my 5-star predictions list from last year, which is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. But I knew that if I didn't like that book, I'd be so upset that I didn't like it, and then I'd be starting my year off on that note. And I was like, no. We're not going to make a risky choice the first read of the year. I'm going to pick something that I'm pretty confident that I'm going to at least give 4 stars. So I decided to pick up Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This showed up on so many people's favorite books of 2022 lists and videos, which made me so excited to pick it up. I've been kind of putting it off because I knew once I read this, I'd have no more Emily Henry romance books to read until her next release, which is April. So it's not that far, but I knew once I read this, I'd be caught up and I'd have no more adult romance Emily Henry books to read. So I just decided to finally read it after hearing so many good things about it in people's favorite books of the year videos, especially because I loved Beach Read last year. I had a feeling that I would really like this. I feel like you either really love Book Lovers and Beach Read or People We Meet on Vacation. It's you either like one or the other, and I loved Beach Read. People We Meet on Vacation I enjoyed, but I definitely don't love it as much as Beach Read. I think I give it 4 stars. It's probably more of a 3.5. It was fine. I had a lot of fun with it, but it definitely isn't as good to me as Beach Read. So I'm hoping that I will also love this. I don't think I'm gonna love it as much as Beach Read, but I think it could get close. So I thought I would just start the year with a solid, at least 4-star read. At least that's what I think is gonna happen. I don't see me disliking this, but I haven't read read too much of this. I literally read the prologue. I read the first 14 pages, but I wanted to start something on the first day of the year. I was just too tired yesterday to do any reading, but I have at least started it, and this is going to be the first read of the year, and I'm very excited. I'm hoping that I can get to a few more things this week, but we'll just see what happens. I definitely have a bit of a TBR for January. I want to read The Night Circus, like I was saying earlier, by Erin Morgenstern, because that is the only book on my 5-star predictions list from last year that I still have to read. So I want to read that this month so I can get that final 5-star predictions vlog up. And there's a couple of like book clubs and read-alongs and things going on that start this month that I want to try and participate in. But the good news is that the Shadowhunters read-along, we are taking a bit of a pause. Not so much a pause in January, it's more of like a catch-up month, which I wanted to also like acknowledge and share with you all in case you are participating with us. We decided that because we're kind of behind on live shows and everything, we didn't want to rush to get through books and get through live shows. So we haven't done the Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy live show yet. That was our November book, and that's going to be on my channel. So I'll have either the link to the live show if it's already happened by the time this vlog goes up, or I will have like the date and the time of when we're planning on doing it in the description. So we still have to do that live show. Lady Midnight was our December book, and we obviously have not done that live show either. So we just decided to have January be like a bit of a catch-up month, so we're not rushing to do so many live shows and read so many books. So if you are wanting to join and you hadn't had a chance to read Lady Midnight yet, don't worry, you have all of January to also read Lady Midnight. But I'm actually caught up on the Shadowhunter read-along book reading wise. Obviously the live shows we still have to do, but I have finished Lady Midnight. So January I can kind of take that month off from reading books for the Shadowhunter read-along. However, Chain of Thorns comes out January 31st. So I think I may do rereads of Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron before Chain of Thorns comes out. It actually kind of works out perfectly, because then if we had continued on with the Shadowhunter read-along, I would have been reading those and Lord of Shadows and then Chain of Thorns and Queen of Air and Darkness in February. It just would have been too much. So it actually works out perfectly, and I'm hoping I can reread Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron before Chain of Thorns, but we'll just see. They just aren't the shortest books. However, Shadowhunter books do read quickly, and I've obviously read them before. So we'll see if I get to do that this month. I would love to. I'm so excited for Chain of Thorns. I'm very stressed about it. Like, now that we're in the month that it's coming out, I'm like back to being so stressed about what's going to happen, and I'm very concerned, but hopefully it will be fine. Everything will be fine. But yeah, this week we will at least be reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry. We'll see what else happens. There also is a magical readathon, like year-long thing happening that G just posted a video about. So I'm gonna have to look at that. I think I watched the video, but I just need to figure out like if I want to do that or not. I don't know if I want to do like a year-long reading challenge, because when I did like the buzzwordathon, I really struggled with it because I did it. However, I would just read books for the sake of fulfilling a prompt, and I don't want to have to do that and commit to that year-long type of thing again, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, I've been babbling for a bit. You can tell it's been a bit since I've vlogged. Not really, like a week and a half, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, here's all this information that none of you probably care about. But anyway, hello. Welcome to the first vlog of 2023. Also, I would love to know what your first read of 2023 is/was. And also if you have any reading goals for the year. I know a lot of people do set like a Goodreads or a Storygraph like number goal of certain books that they want to read in a year. I set mine to 70 because I have reached 70 the past like few years. I think I read exactly 70 in 2020, or 78 in 2021, I think. And then last year I read 103, and I have no idea if I'm gonna get to 100 again. I just wanted to do that at least once in my life, read 100 books in a year, and I did it. So now pressure's off. I'm just gonna see what happens this year. But I figured 70 was a good goal. I've like consistently gotten to at least that the past few years. So that's my reading goal for this year. And I'd love to know if you have one, or if you don't set a numerical reading goal like that, if you have any other reading goals for the year, I'd love to hear them. But yeah, okay. We have talked way too much. I'm gonna go. I will check back in with you in a bit. Hopefully I can do some reading, cleaning, journaling, resetting for the year. Hopefully I can start doing that today. Alright, hello friends. Happy Tuesday. I just wanted to film a little update. I know I talked for a very long time in the intro of this vlog, so we're gonna try not to do that again right now. I know yesterday I was saying when introing this vlog, like I was gonna do so much like end of the year, like wrap up stuff and preparing for 2023. I was gonna clean, I was gonna set up journals, I was gonna figure everything out. I really didn't do much of any of that yesterday. I just kind of chilled yesterday, which is fine. I mean, I did do some of it. I did do some stuff in my bullet journal from last year and my reading journal. I still have a lot of it to do, but I did some. And I'm really excited because I think my bullet journal for 2023 is going to be arriving in the mail sometime this week. And I might start working on my reading journal for this year as well today. I just feel like a new year makes me so excited and motivated to start a new journal. Even though last year I was kind of struggling with keeping up with specifically my bullet journal or like finding the motivation for it, but like having a fresh start in a new journal makes me so excited. So I can't wait to start setting up both my bullet journal and my reading journal for this year. But anyway, I love how I said I'm gonna keep this update like shorter than yesterday, and here I am babbling yet again. I feel like you all know at this point what to expect. But I did want to update on Book Lovers. I have not read as much as I would have wanted to. I'm on chapter 5, which is page 66. I'm hoping to read a bit more of it today. I want to like make a decent amount of progress in this, but so far I'm still enjoying it. I feel like at the point where I'm at right now, like we've kind of started the plot. We're following Nora, who's the main character, and her sister Libby, and they go to Sunshine Falls in North Carolina to go to this like little house, this little cottage on a little getaway. And Nora is very much like a city person. She doesn't really like the small town vibe. And so she's also like really into her work and very committed to her career. The way she describes herself at the beginning of the book was actually really interesting. She kind of described like, you know, like the really cheesy Hallmark Christmas movies where someone will leave their big city to go to the small town and they'll find love in the small town and then break up with the person that they were with back home. Nora described herself as the person that gets broken up with back home. And I just think that that's really interesting. I just feel like it's a very different vibe for a main character than I've ever read before. And she's also tall, so I don't think it's gonna have the like, I'm so small and he's so big kind of vibe that a lot of romances have. So that's kind of cool. So we've really just gotten to know Nora as that kind of character and how important her sister Libby is to her, and how Libby asked to go on this like getaway, just to get away from their lives and go to Sunshine Falls, which is like the place that inspired a fictional book that Nora, the main character, she's like the editor for. I don't know if she's a literary agent. That's what she is. And her sister's like obsessed with that book. So they go to the place that inspired this book. And while she's there, this guy who is an editor named Charlie, who she like had a not so great encounter with a few years earlier, he's there. That's really all I've gotten so far. But I did want to say that Nora's character reminds me a lot of Cameron Diaz's character in The Holiday. There's been a couple of moments in this book where Nora has explained that she doesn't cry, and I think there's going to be like trauma or like events from her past that led to her not crying, which that is a part of Amanda's character in The Holiday. And both Nora and Amanda are like city people, and also they like go to this very small town and go to this cottage to get away. Obviously it's like different circumstances, but actually Nora has gotten like broken up with recently, but her sister is the one that wants to go on the getaway. So it's like almost similar, but not quite. And obviously like the cottage that they go to, or the little house that they go to, is in North Carolina and not England. But like the way that they describe the house that they're staying at, like you can only go so far in a car. Like you have to get dropped off quite a bit far away and you have to walk up to the house. And like the way that they described like walking down to like the little village and like the main area of this town, it just was giving me like the same kind of vibes as The Holiday. I don't think that the plot really is gonna resemble The Holiday, but just like Nora and Amanda from The Holiday are giving me like similar vibes. There's like some similarities, but I don't think it's gonna proceed that way. So I'm gonna get that kind of out of my head, because if I'm trying to compare something to The Holiday, I feel like that's gonna set it up for failure, because I love The Holiday. But I am liking that. I am liking that there's like similarities to one of my favorite movies, and I really like Nora as character. She's, I feel like, a very different main character than we typically, or at least like I've typically read in a romance. And I love like her relationship with her sister and how important that is to her. And I'm really excited to see like the romance. I feel like I've heard that this book really focuses more so on Nora and Libby and like the sister dynamic and their relationship than the romance. The romance is almost like secondary to everything going on, but I'm still excited to see that and get to know Charlie a little bit more, because we've really only seen like a couple interactions with him, but he seems very grumpy. So you know I'm on board. But yeah, so far so good. I'm excited to keep going with that. And yeah, I think I'm gonna work on editing a video and maybe setting up my reading journal at some point this evening, or like sketching it out. I'm definitely gonna film, I think, me setting up my reading journal for this year. So I don't know if I'll start filming that today, but I will definitely like start sketching it out, planning out the spreads I want, planning out my bullet journal for next year as much as I can before I actually have the journal in my hands. And maybe I will actually clean. I like started putting away Christmas gifts yesterday, and then I think I started Zooming with Derry and Casey and I was like, well, that's enough of that. I did enough. So gonna continue cleaning and prepping all week. That's probably going to be a week-long thing. But yeah, I just wanted to update on book lovers. And I would be interested to know if anyone else thought that there were similarities to the holiday with book lovers, or if I'm just always trying to relate things to the holiday. It could be that. Oh, hi.
Oh, look who it is. It's my destiny.
So true.
What a time to be alive.
So true.
You're so true.
Thanks. Well, hello. Happy Thursday, my friends. I don't think I vlogged really anything yesterday, but I'm back. What's up? So I wanted to first start off this little update showing you what Casey and Darian got me for Christmas, because I think I said in my last Vlogmas vlog that we were going to be doing our gift exchange after Christmas, so I was going to like document it and show you guys what they got me in my next vlog. It is now my next vlog, and I have yet to share what they got me because I just kept forgetting. I literally remembered yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, I said I was going to do that. So I thought I would show what they got me. I did record my reactions to some of the gifts, so if any of that is good, I will insert that at the various points. Unfortunately, I don't think I got my reaction to Casey's gift, which is so sad because I don't know if I've ever laughed so much opening a Christmas gift or just a gift in general in my life. It was one of those things where I thought I was recording, and then when I went to go and stop the recording, I started a recording. So I wasn't recording the whole time I opened it. How many times did I just say recording? Oof. But Casey's gift is quite honestly one of the funniest things I think I've ever received. It's Saint Joe Curie. Oh my god. I mean, I'm not quite sure. I'm never gonna light it. I'm never gonna use this. This is just gonna be a decoration forever. And I love Joe Curie. Like, she gets me. It was so unexpected. I couldn't have predicted that this was the gift she got me, especially because Darian's gift from Casey was like a poster. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get something similar, and then it was this, and I love it. It makes me so happy. I have it on like my bedside table, and I just look at it and laugh every time. It's so funny. So thanks, Casey. I am so sad I didn't get my reaction to it on camera because I think I literally cried from laughing so hard. There were actually a lot of tears opening our gifts. I think all of us cry at least once every gift exchange that we do. It's fine. And then Darian got me a couple of books. She got me one from my Amazon wishlist and one that was a special edition, Fairy Loot edition of a book in a series that I really like. She got me the Fairy Loot edition of Sea Sparrow by Kristen Kishore. I do think I have my reaction to her showing me that because I don't have it yet. It hasn't shipped yet, but she told me that she did order it for me. So I think I have my reaction to that. All right.
I'm ready. Wait. Okay, go.
Oh, hello. Stunning.
Merry Christmas.
I love how you were like, it's not gonna be worth the wait, and then this. Like, exclusive color. Oh, hello. Oh my god. Look at those sprayed edges.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, bestie.
You're welcome.
That's so nice.
I ordered it and it's like, it won't ship until January. And I was like, okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
It'll just be the Christmas that keeps on giving, you know?
You're so right. Comment.
Woohoo! Thank you. So yeah, that's really exciting. It's such a beautiful cover. And I did actually order the like normal edition of Sea Sparrow from Barnes & Noble recently because I want to have the whole series like have matching covers, but I think with the Fairy Loot special edition, I'm going to have it like displayed and have its own like special moment. Hello. I'm just really excited. It's so beautiful. And I feel like it's going to be one of those things where I forget that it's happening and it's just gonna arrive on my doorstep and I'm gonna be so excited. I'm sure Darian will tell me once it's shipped, but I feel like the pea brain will forget that I'm getting it, so it'll arrive and I'll just be very excited. But she did also get me a book off of my wish list. She got me The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. She got me Pain and Suffering for Christmas this year.
That we're assuming is from you.
Yeah, because if it's not from you,
And who's it?
then it's gone. Because I never got anything else. I think, like you were saying, if it's wrapped, it's looking wrapped. Oh my god, it's purple again. Oh. Yeah. He. Stunning. Can't wait to sub.
I saw it and I was like, I don't have a choice.
It must be done. Thank you, bestie.
You're welcome.
Oh my
Lisa,
god.
can we buddy read that?
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm gonna need help. Emotional support.
I'll read it again. I'll do it.
Aw. Thank you, bestie.
You're welcome.
I've never read this before. I've never read from Madeline Miller at all before, but obviously, like, this book is super popular. It's been out for at least like 10 years, I think, at this point. I think it came out in 2012. Yeah, 2012 is when it came out. So it's been out for 10 years. It's very popular. It causes a lot of people pain. I do know what happens, not only because of how long this book's been out and people just talking about it, but just like the general like mythology that it's based off of. I know what occurs. However, I still think it's going to be quite painful. And I'm just really excited to read it. I'm excited to see if I enjoy it, because this is one of those books I've just, like I said, I've seen people talk about for so many years, and I've never actually picked it up, even though I've wanted to read it all that time. So we'll see how it goes. I feel like I need to like vlog me reading this. I was actually thinking about doing a vlog reading books that like make people sob. And I know what you're thinking, Lisa, you cry all the time. Yeah, I know. But like reading books that make people like have full on meltdowns, I want to read those books and put it in a vlog. So yeah, thank you once again to the besties for my Christmas gifts, and I'm happy I remembered to actually show you all in this vlog like I said I was going to. But I also wanted to update on book lovers. So I am on chapter 24, page 256. I think I have like a little over 100 pages left of this book, and I have a feeling I'm gonna finish it today. I am really, really enjoying it. It's one of those books that like when I'm not reading it, I wish I was reading it, kind of. Like I got so excited last night when I got into bed and was able to like read for a bit before bed. I am just really enjoying it. I feel like I was right in my prediction that I wasn't gonna love it as much as Beach Read, but I was definitely gonna like it a lot more than People We Meet on Vacation, and that's definitely true. I really, really love Charlie, who's like the love interest in this book. I also really like Nora. I love that she feels like a very different main character than you typically see in a romance novel. I also really love Nora and Libby's like sister bond and relationship. I am nervous because I think I'm about to reach like the third act conflict territory, and I'm very concerned about what is gonna happen. I feel like I've heard people talk about the third act conflict in this book, but I don't know like what happens, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I really like their relationship and how they're trying to kind of get that closeness again that they used to have, but also the kind of challenges that the two of them face and the kind of just like the things that have kind of come between them over the years, and just like what that has done to both of them as people and as characters. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad I went into it knowing that yes, there's a romance, but it also is very much about Nora and her sister Libby and that kind of plot line and them going to this small town and everything, and that it's not just the romance, which I do feel like Emily Henry's books are typically like that. Like it's not just the romance, but this one I feel like the romance is definitely not happening as much as they were in Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation, and I'm glad I had that expectation going into this because I've really enjoyed the moments with the romance, but I think it's making me appreciate the moments between Nora and her sister more, knowing that that is such a big part of the book. But yeah, I'm planning on finishing this tonight, like I said, and I'm really happy that I'm enjoying it. I'm happy that I'm enjoying my first read of the year. I feel like that's a good sign. I have no idea what I'm going to pick up next after Book Lovers. There's like multiple things on my TBR for the month, but am I going to read any of those things? I don't know. So we'll see what I end up picking up next, but I'm hoping to finish this tonight. Really enjoying it, very excited to finish it. But yeah, I think that that's everything. As you can kind of see behind me, I still have Christmas decorations up. I still have not done anything to do with that, haven't done any cleaning, but I think this weekend will probably be when that happens. I'm sure like everywhere in the house, the Christmas decorations are going to start coming down, all the trees are going to start coming down this weekend, so that'll probably be when I do that, which is very sad. Like, I'm kind of excited to have space on my floor again, because the tree does take up a good amount of space. However, I'm also sad to see it go. But yeah, I'm just kind of pushing off taking the Christmas decorations down as long as possible. I know I said I was going to do it this week, so I'll probably do it this weekend, but I don't want to, because I just want it to be Christmas all the time. Well, happy Friday, my friends. It's a very snowy Friday. I feel like it's a super cozy day, which means I will hopefully be doing a lot of reading later on. But I did want to update that I finished Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I finished this last night. My first book of the year is finally done, and I'm happy to report that my first book of the year was a success. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. I actually ended up lowering my rating for People We Meet on Vacation because I had originally given that 4 stars, and I was like, it doesn't really make sense for Book Lovers and People We Meet on Vacation to be the same rating because I definitely preferred Book Lovers. So I went and lowered People We Meet on Vacation to 3.5, gave this 4 stars, really enjoyed it. First of all, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not already, but there are a couple references to characters from Beach Read in this book, and the couple of times that it happened, I put the book down and just started screaming, so there's that. I had to acknowledge that. I don't know if I said it already, but it made me very, very happy to see those characters pop up, especially because like all of Emily Henry's characters are involved in publishing or writing in some way. And I think it's really cool that she has kind of connected all of them. I can't remember if there's any Beach Read mentions in People We Meet on Vacation. There may be, and I just don't remember. But I think it's really cool that they all can kind of connect in that way. But yeah, more so about Book Lovers itself. I did really enjoy this. It was good that I went into this knowing that it, yes, focused on a romance, but it also focused a lot on Nora and Libby's relationship and the fact that they're sisters and this bond that they have and how the bond that they have has kind of been going through some changes and what that means for them, and that being such a focus of the story, because I'm glad that I didn't go in expecting more of a romance. I think I would have been disappointed in that way. And even though there were moments involving the sisters and the discussions on that and their relationship and just like general ideas about being sisters and what that means to them, I did like certain things about that, but it sometimes was a struggle for me to read just because Libby, the sister to Nora, the main character, she sometimes didn't feel the most fleshed out as a character. She definitely had moments where I like thought she had some funny jokes, or there were moments where I feel like she had a little bit more to her character, but overall, like throughout most of this book, it didn't really feel like she was a super fleshed out character. So the fact that Nora and Libby's relationship was so important to Nora, but Libby didn't feel fully fleshed out, it didn't have the impact I feel like on me as it could have. I still liked Libby. I didn't dislike her character. I just feel like if she had a little bit more to her character and we'd seen a little bit more of her and gotten a little bit more of her, I think I would have enjoyed that aspect a little bit more. But I did like the romance. I really liked Charlie. I thought he was so great. I love that he didn't force Nora to change, because Nora definitely had certain things that she wanted and certain things that she liked, certain preferences, you know, the fact that she is a city person and she would never move to a small town, the fact that she has these certain opinions and things that she likes and wants, and he didn't try to change that, I thought was like, it's the bare minimum, but also like how he not only wanted to not change that about her, he encouraged it, and that's why he loved her. It just was great to read. I also really liked the way Nora was written. I loved the arc that she had. Even though there were moments that Nora would annoy me, I still liked her character because of the certain opinions and views that she had and how she kind of stayed true to that. She very easily could have chosen to put her wants and those things aside for the other people in her life. She had been doing it her whole life, but I really like that she by the end of this book, kind of learned to prioritize herself. I thought that that was really important to read, especially because I feel like a lot of times, especially like in this book, Nora even talks about it, people will go to a small town and then their whole lives change and they want to live in this small town forever and they're no longer a city person. I loved that Nora didn't change in that way. I thought it was really interesting, very unique for a main character. And yeah, I just loved seeing her also learn to kind of let herself do the things that she wants and just stay true to herself in that way, because like I was saying, like her whole life pretty much, she has always prioritized the other people in her life over her own wants and needs. So it was really nice to see that kind of arc in her evolve throughout this book. I also think all of the different pieces of the third act conflict made sense for the story and the characters. It didn't bother me at all. It wasn't like something that felt really forced on Emily Henry's end, just to like cause a third act conflict. It felt very natural and very much like realistic to what would have happened. And also there is a piece of like the third act conflict that also reminds me of The Holiday. And I literally even Googled like Emily Henry, The Holiday, to see if she had mentioned it in any interviews or anything. And after like a 10-second quick search, didn't see anything. But obviously I literally took like 10 seconds to look. So it could be there somewhere that she's talked about it, but I didn't see anything. And there were just a lot of like little parallels to The Holiday, which made me happy. I wouldn't say that this book is like The Holiday, just a couple of little things that remind me of the movie. I don't know, it kind of gave me the similar vibes to The Holiday. And yeah, I did really enjoy it. I think the focus of this book being so much about Nora and Libby and their relationship as sisters and what that means to Nora. The fact that Libby wasn't a character that felt super fleshed out to me is what made me not get super, I feel like, connected to this book as I could have, but still overall really enjoyed it. Really love the romance, love Charlie. So had a good time. Very happy I gave it 4 stars, especially because this was my first book of the year. As I was reading it, realized like, if I don't like this, I will be so sad and so disappointed, and that will not be a very good start to the year. But I had already committed to reading it. So I'm glad that I ended up liking it and it was a good start to the year. Hopefully we can just keep on this train, keep on reading good books. So now it's time for me to pick my next read, and I think I know what I'm gonna do because I feel drawn to picking this up as of recently. I know that there's like other motivations for me reading it, but I do genuinely feel drawn to picking it up right now, so I feel like I should take advantage of that. And I think my next read is gonna be The Night Circus. I'm very stressed about this. So this is the last book on my 5-star predictions list from 2022. So it's the final book that I have to read to get the final vlog up for that. So that is a part of why I'd like to read this book this month, but I actually do feel like drawn to picking it up. I think for some reason this book just feels like a winter book. I have no idea if there's any reason behind that. Just to me it feels like a book that should be read in winter, and today it started snowing, so it just seemed like a sign that it was time to finally pick this up. And the reason I'm so stressed about it is because I feel like I've put a lot of pressure on myself to like this book because I've wanted to read it for so long. I actually think I found out about this book in 2013, I want to say. So we're now approaching 10 years of me wanting to read this book. That's a long time to put off reading a book and hyping it up. And then the fact that I put it on my 5-star predictions list of last year, I just elevated the pressure and the expectations. So I kind of regret putting it on my 5-star predictions from last year because I want to make sure that I just read it at the right time and not have that pressure, but it is kind of feeling like the right time. I feel drawn to picking it up, so I think this might be my next read, and hopefully I enjoy it. Like I said, I've wanted to read this book for 10 years now, and I really want to love it. I'm gonna try and not put too much pressure on it. I'm just gonna try and go into it and see what happens, but I really want to love it. We'll see. I think this is gonna be my next read. We'll see how it goes. I'm very nervous about it. So yeah, I think that is going to be my next read. Perhaps I'll pick up an audiobook or something as well. Not quite sure what my plan is, but I think The Night Circus is gonna be my next physical read. Keep your fingers crossed that I enjoy it. But yeah, like I was saying, it's a very snowy day today. It's been snowing kind of on and off. It's not, oh, it is snowing. It actually is still snowing a little bit right now. So it's gonna be, I think, a very cozy day, which will mean that I will want to do a lot of reading. So probably will start The Night Circus later on tonight, get the cozy vibes going, and yeah, I think that is it. So I will check in with you guys in a little bit. I have a couple of packages from Barnes & Noble. Your girl got a gift card for Christmas and they don't last very long. I always before Christmas, I'm like, okay, if you get a Barnes & Noble gift card, you should use it to pre-order the books that you're already planning on buying throughout the year, and then they'll just arrive on your doorstep, which is a good idea. but I never do it because I get the gift card and I look on the Barnes & Noble website and I get too excited and I just want instant gratification and I order things, and here they are. They have arrived. So I thought we could do a little unboxing. I am planning on filming a book haul soon with some of the books I got for Christmas. I'll probably include these. I also have some books that I received and purchased in the last like handful of months of 2022. I just don't buy books or receive books frequently enough to do hauls more regularly, so I could just wait till I have a bunch to share. But let us open these packages. You guys who watch the vlogs can get the inside scoop before the haul goes up. Wait, thumbnail. Ow. First book in the package. Aha! Oh my god, it's very large. It's quite a big book. I didn't realize that these, I mean, the paperbacks are big. I think it's just because it's a hardcover. But I got Sea Sparrow by Kristen Kishore. This is the 5th Graceling Realm book, and yes, I've only read the first 2. Yes, I have the whole series. I normally don't do that. I normally buy the books in the series as I go, but like I've already read the first 2. I really like them. I think I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the series. I'm pretty confident in that, so at least fingers crossed. But yeah, I now have the like normal edition of Sea Sparrow. I do have that special edition that Darian got for me, so that's very exciting, but I wanted to have the edition that matches all the other ones. And then the other book that I got, I'm so excited. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I have heard nothing but good things about this book, and this just seems like right up my alley. A cozy fantasy with low stakes. What is the like, yeah, a novel of high fantasy and low stakes. Exactly. I don't know. I think there may be like a romance involved in this, but I know that it's like following these 2 characters who I think open a coffee shop, but it's like in a fantasy world. It just seems like it's gonna be so cozy, and I hope that I can read it in like the winter months. This just seems like the perfect like winter or fall book. So hopefully I can read this soon. I'm so excited for this. Let's not stab me or the books. More importantly, the books. The next couple of books that I ordered. Oh, I'm so excited. City of Brass, or The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. Is that Chakraborty? Chakraborty. I feel like I've always heard it and I've said it, and now that I have to say it, I'm overthinking it. Anyway, I've heard so many good things about this series. I was torn between getting this and Jade City by Fonda Lee. I still really want to read that series as well, but I went on to Goodreads and looked at like the reviews for this book and Jade City, and it seemed like most people, or there were just more like positive reviews of this book than Jade City. Not that there aren't people who love Jade City, and I know Steph from Stephanie Bookish loves both of them, but I remember her talking about this book and the series and saying it gave her like Ember in the Ashes vibes. And if someone compares literally anything to Ember in the Ashes, I'm gonna be on board. Plus, I really trust Steph, especially with fantasy recommendations. I feel like I don't read as much fantasy as her, and like we definitely read different fantasy books, but when we do tend to like read the same things and we read the same fantasy books, we feel very similarly on them. So I am really excited for this. I know she loves this series, so I feel like I'm gonna love it too, especially with that comparison to Ember in the Ashes, which is like one of my favorite series. And also this is like such a floppy edition. I love it. I'm so excited. It's so funny because have I been reading a ton of fantasy recently? No, I am going to be picking up The Night Circus, so at least there's that, but I've not been in the biggest fantasy mood. But I must have been when I bought these books, because I bought all like fantasy sci-fi books. Because the next book that I bought is Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. I really loved Vicious, which is the first book in this series, and so I've been really wanting to pick up the sequel, so I decided to get it. I think it was a part of the buy one get one half off sale that they were doing. I think that's how I got both of these. And then Legends and Lattes, I think I just got pretty much full price, but I think Barnes & Noble online, they're always like discounting the books, so you never really pay, I feel like, full price online for most things. And then Sea Sparrow was half off, so I think I only paid like $10 for this, and it is a hardcover, so it was $21.99 originally. That's really expensive for a YA hardcover. But anyway, these are the books that I got. I will be showing them in a haul as well, but like I said, you all get the sneak peek. I'm very excited for them. I'm very excited to finish some series, continue on with some series, and also start a new one. I'm hoping that I really like this, and then I can maybe get the next books in the series and really love it as much as so many other people do. But yeah, very excited for all of these books, and I just wanted to show you all because that's what we do here.
lazy Sunday mornings, hiding under covers. I don't mind staying in with you. Play your favorite movie, laying right beside me. I don't mind when it's just us two. That corner coffee shop we like to go. Late night walks with you to take me home. With you I never feel alone.
These little songs make me glad to call you mine. And you have got my head in the clouds. Oh,
1, 2, 3. All that I need is your body next to me on rainy days. Just need your company, don't need too much. Just your simple love and it's everything. The simple joy of hearing your voice every morning. I wake to a kiss on my face, so I don't need too much. Just your simple love and it's everything.
Walking to the market, strolling hand in hand, exchanging letters when you're away. Don't need any effort when we are together. We always have fun throughout the day. I'll do anything to get your attention when you
Alright
say
guys,
you
it's now
love
Monday
me.
of the
I
next week,
seem
so I'm
to
gonna wrap
listen
up
to
this
the
first weekly vlog of the
sound
year. I don't know if it was like the most exciting vlog that I've ever filmed, but I still wanted to document the first couple of reads of the year, so I hope it was still enjoyable. But also really quickly, before we get into the books, I did want to talk about the that little TBR shelf that I got going on over there. I ended up taking all of the books that were like stacked on my headboard and all of the TBR books that were on my bookshelf and just putting all of the books that I own that I haven't read yet on my headboard. So it's just like a TBR shelf and I can quickly see and access all of the books I have yet to read. I really love it. I love the way it turned out. I just really like the way that it looks. I think it's going to be a really cool like backdrop for filming videos and also like Instagram pictures, but also it's going to be like functional, which is arguably more important than the aesthetics. But I feel like I am going to actually like pick up books on my TBR more because I'm going to just be able to see them all the time. I feel like when they were in the piles and just like shoved randomly on my bookshelf and they just kind of got lost. And so I feel like this will actually make me remember what books I have to read. When I was taking them and like putting them on my headboard, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I own this. So yes, I do have a Goodreads shelf with my TBR, but I think it's more helpful to have them like actually in a place where I can visually see them so that I can actually read my TBR. So really love that I did that. I've been wanting to do that for a while. I just finally like got the ambition to do it. My actual bookshelves still look not great, but that's okay. We'll get to a point where I'm happy with them and they look okay. But yes, reading updates. I did finish Book Lovers this week, which was my first read of 2023, and I gave it 4 stars. I'm so excited that I enjoyed it. I'm just happy I enjoyed it because it's like so hyped up and I was so excited to read it that I didn't want to be disappointed by it. And it was my first book of the year, so glad we started the year off with a good read. I also think I said in my last update, I think it was last time I chatted with you, that I was planning on starting the Night Circus. This is what it is. It just doesn't have the dust jacket on it because look at how stunning it is. I did not realize that this was what the hardcover looked like. When I took the dust jacket off to start reading it for the first time, I literally gasped. I was like, what is this? Like I'd never looked at it underneath the dust jacket before, even though this book has been sitting on my shelf for over a year now. But yeah, it's so stunning. But The Night Circus, I did actually start it. I am on page 145, so I made a decent amount of progress, especially because this is a very like slow moving book. I feel like I'm kind of just slowly making my way through and taking my time with it. And I don't want to say too much just because this is the final book on my 5-star predictions. So my thoughts will be in that next vlog, which will hopefully be coming soon. I think in 2023, this year, I'm gonna have a 5-star predictions video, but I don't think I'm gonna do vlogs because I hate having to be like, my thoughts are coming soon in a vlog that will hopefully be posted somewhat soon. Like, I'm sick of hearing me say that. So I don't think I'm gonna do the 5-star predictions vlogs this year, but definitely gonna have some 5-star predictions, and we'll probably do a video at the end of the year talking about if I was right or not. But anyway, the vlog for this will be coming out soon, hopefully. But yeah, I did end up starting this because I felt drawn to pick it up. So I just felt like the right time and a good idea to pick it up when I felt like reading it, you know? I also did start an audiobook. I saw that Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert was added to Libby for me. So I immediately borrowed it because there was no wait, and I had a feeling, again, this is a very anticipated release for a lot of people. Talia Hibbert is an author a lot of people love. So I knew as soon as I saw it and could borrow it instantly that I needed to act on that. So started that. I'm 70% of the way through, I think, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really cute. I feel like this is the type of YA book that I'm trying to kind of steer away from, the more like fluffier, lighthearted YA kind of romances. However, I think I'm going to read these types of books if they're from authors that I've read from before and have enjoyed. So that's why I was excited for this one. And so far, I'm having a great time. Obviously, like, there are differences between this book and Talia Hibbert's like adult romances, but I still feel like the humor and the really lovable and great characters are still a part of this book. I'm really enjoying it. We have Bradley and Celine, who used to be like really good friends when they were younger, and now in high school they are kind of rivals. They do not get along. They argue a lot. They're both very smart. They're kind of the top students in their school. They kind of get similar grades, so there's that competition there, and they both are planning on going to law school. And also this like childhood friendship that they had and how that ended, there obviously is that history there that causes them to not really get along. But then the both of them end up signing up for this like program. It's like a survival camp in the forest that they both sign up for, and if you win you get a scholarship. So they're kind of forced to work together for this survival camp. And reading the synopsis of this book, I thought that the whole book was going to be taking place during this like survival camp. That was going to be the setting for the entire book, but it's not. So it starts off with them like in school and then like signing up for this survival camp. Then they go for like the first round of it, and then they go back to school and back home. And then there's going to be like a second round of the people who made it through. I think people get like eliminated. So it's not the entire book that is set there, but I do really like that aspect. And I just think it's such a fun dynamic between the two of them. It's definitely like, I mean, I would say it's like Grumpy Sunshine vibes. He is definitely super like sunshiny and just super like, I feel like he's more upbeat than Celine. I love Celine though. I love her like vibe and her character. There was a quote, and I wish I could remember what it was. She was like, I have 2 moods, annoyed and fine, or something like that. I can't remember what she said. I think it was annoyed and something, but it made me laugh, and I feel like it describes her character perfectly. And also Bradley has OCD, and obviously I can't speak on the representation as I do not have OCD, but I do think it's quite cool to see that representation in a book. I don't think I've read many books with characters that have OCD, so it is cool to read about that and see how Bradley like handles that and the tools that he has to work through his OCD and everything. And I don't know, I just really like their dynamic. I love the childhood friends to enemies to lovers, like that whole setup is like one of my favorite things. I just feel like that's when enemies to lovers just like, it works so well for me because there's that history of them being friends first, and it just adds to the angst. I wouldn't say this is a very angsty book, but I still really love it, and I really love the characters. I love their dynamic. I love their personalities, and yeah, it's just a fun read. I don't know if it's going to be like 5 stars, but I definitely really like it so far, and I'm excited to see like how everything wraps up. I'm excited at this point to see them kind of go back to the survival camp because I think they're going to go back one more time. I think they've only been once, and it didn't really last that long of the book, which is kind of why I was like, the description kind of gives the vibe that the whole book is set during the survival camp, and it's not. But I'm excited to kind of get back to that setting and see them have to work together, especially now that their feelings for each other are a little bit more complicated. But yeah, it's really fun so far. It's very cute, and also I just think the cover is adorable. I feel like it's almost like similar vibes to the Brown Sisters trilogy covers with like the 2 characters in the corner. I love the like pink cover and just like the colors in it in general. I just think it's such a cute cover. So yeah, having a great time with that, and hopefully we'll finish that soon. I think, like I said, I'm like 70% of the way through, so I probably will finish that soon. Loving it so far. But yeah, I think that that's everything I wanted to update on what I was reading and what I read this week, the TBR shelf that I created, and I think that that's everything. Like I said, I don't know if this was the most exciting vlog, but I still wanted to document the first week of the year, the first few reads of the year. I think I already asked this at the beginning of the vlog, but definitely let me know like what you picked for your first read of the year or how many books you've already read this year. I've only completed one, but we're close to finishing Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, and The Night Circus I'm sure I will finish this coming week. But yeah, I would love to know what book you picked up first in the year. I think it's so interesting to see what people decide to read first, because I feel like that's like one of those decisions that I didn't really think about until I had like a booktube channel or was involved in the community a little bit more. The first read of the year I feel like is a bigger deal than I expected it to be, but I think it's so interesting to see what people pick up first. But I think that that is going to be it for this vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.